And we are live. Let's see who is going to be first to join today. It is Monday. It is the 13th of May. And a lot of you guys will have had your English Literature paper 1 today. Let's have a look and see who is going to be first to join today. Looking at the TikTok at the moment, as per usual, guys, we are live on TikTok and YouTube at the same time. Amy says, me, hello, Amy, how's it going? Let me know. Can you hear me clearly? T says, hello. Guys, let me know. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Let's have a look. Can you guys hear me? MJ says early. Yep, you are one of the first today. R says, yes, we can. Guys, talk to me in the chat. How was English literature today? How was English literature today? I haven't actually seen any social media posts about it. I haven't looked at any forums. TikTok friend says, hello, Uncle Matt. Matt says it was good. Okay, talk to me, talk to me. Grace says, when will you be doing foundation? Grace, the next foundation paper is going to be tomorrow. Next foundation paper is going to be tomorrow. For those of you who don't know, I'm going live every day, 5 p.m. till 7 p.m. And on Wednesday, I'm even going to be going live 5 p.m. to 9 p.m. Let's see. Jackson Farmer says 2-1 win away. That sounds like a good result for you. Difficult game then, difficult game, but still a good result. Guys, you can see that I have a little announcement down here. We actually have a sponsor for the stream. So I'm going to give a little bit of time, I'm going to give people a little bit more time to join, but I'm actually very proud to announce that, guys, we've got a little bit of a partnership going on with a fantastic GCSE maths platform. So I'm going to talk a little bit about that in a couple of minutes once a few more people have a chance to join. ... said, I did this and I got 76 out of 80. Is that good? Well, my friend, you already know the answer to that. That's an incredible score. This is a difficult paper, guys. You're going to see today that we have a difficult paper, the EdXL June 2022 higher tier paper. The last question especially is a super difficult question, but we're going to hopefully make everything clear. Guys, talk to me a bit more in the chat. How was the English today? How was the English? Mary B said, I did my literature exam today. The question for Macbeth was, how does Shakespeare present Lady Macbeth as a strong female character? Hey, I think that, to be fair, is not too bad of a question. Katie says AQA was good. Katie says AQA was good. Juliet, so Famalam's in the chat. Good to have you. MJ says OMG literature was so good. Guys, for anybody wondering, we're going to be starting at about 5 past today, just giving people a little chance to join. Katie says Christmas Carol was about lessons learned. Is that about Scrooge's lessons learned or just lessons learned in the whole book? Hey guys, it sounds like you got niced up a little bit with the questions. Now I'm gonna have kingship. Yeah, I think we've got a year 10 in the chat thinking next year's gonna be difficult if today's papers weren't too bad. Patricia says yeah, Scrooge's lessons. Okay, guys, I think that is quite a nice question for you all. Of course, still not easy. I think English literature is definitely one of the most difficult subjects. However, at least they didn't give you a really nasty question. Archie says, Edicast was not too bad. Go on, talk to me. What was the question over there? MJ says, I wrote so much in Macbeth that I was burnt out by A Christmas Carol. Yeah, it's really difficult with the timings on literature. You have to be super careful with that. Nice to see we've got 10 of us over on the YouTube today, and we are already up to 280 on the TikTok. Guys, I have a special announcement today, and that is that we actually have a stream sponsor now. Stream sponsor now. I've been receiving a bunch of DMs from people saying that when they go through past papers, they're struggling to understand some of the explanations that I give, and with that, they're wanting to know how to improve with specific topics. So some people, for example, are saying, I didn't understand the circle theorem questions, what do you think I should do? Or I didn't understand the ratios question, what do you think I should do? So guys, I have been around and I've actually kind of partnered up with a company. A lot of you will know them, Maths Made Easy, and basically the partnership is such that you guys are going to get 50% off the first month if you sign up using this code. Guys, I am still sticking by the same message. The best way to revise is to use these past papers. However, if you're in the situation where you want to go ahead and revise a specific topic when you don't understand it in one of these past papers, this, guys, is the best website you can use. It's called Maths Made Easy Premium. They have a bunch of really good free resources as well, question sheets, explanations, videos, and all that good stuff. So that's also really helpful. But you can also use my code MGM50 and essentially get 50% off the first month. So it's normally £20 for a month. If you use the code MGM50, it's going to be £10, and it's a really, really good resource, especially if you want to revise for specific topics. So when we go through these past papers together, if there's any particular topics that you always trip up on, the best thing you can do, guys, is do some dedicated revision and use this platform here. Okay, I've not been looking at the chat for a while, guys. Let me know, are we ready to start? Oh yeah, and one other thing, even though it's called Maths Made Easy, they also have superb resources for science. They have great stuff for English as well. I haven't really checked them out too much. I've only gone deep in understanding the maths ones because that's what we're all about. The maths side of things they're really, really good on, but they do also do science and English. So if you want to kind of subscribe, you'll also get those benefits. I'm also going to be doing something else as part of the partnership, but I'm going to wait a couple of minutes before announcing that. It's pretty exciting, guys. It is now 6 minutes past. We have 430 of us on the stream, guys. Questions number 1 and 2 are on the screen here. You guys know the drill by now. I'm going to give you a couple of minutes to answer these questions, and then I am going to go through the answers. Now, the exciting thing that I was just mentioning about the other part of the partnership is that, guys, I'm actually going to be giving away 10 sets of practice papers from Maths Made Easy. So I say I'm going to give them away. You know, they've given me to give them to you guys. And if you want a chance of winning them, all that you have to do is tag my GCSE Maths. So tag my account, basically. I won't write it down because you know how to spell my GCSE Maths. But yeah, tag it in the comments of one of their videos. And if you do that, you're going to be in with a chance of winning. Every single stream, I'm going to give away 10 sets of practice papers. So all you have to do is tag my account in one of their comments. And yeah, I'm going to be choosing 10 people after every stream. I would really recommend getting the grade 9 papers from them. They're absolutely superb, and they're also included in the offer. So guys, if you want them, make sure to tag my account. Question 1, let's have a look at this one. That's enough talking for now. How are we going to solve 7x minus 27 is less than 8? Guys, when we have an inequality like this, what we do is we treat it just like solving a regular equation. So we're going to start off by moving that minus 27 over to the other side. So we're going to plus 27 to both sides. Oh, I don't want that pen, do I? I want a little bit thinner pen, so we're going to plus 27 to both of our sides. Plus 27 plus 27. On the left-hand side, we're going to get 7x. On the right-hand side, we're going to get 8 plus 27, which, guys, is going to be 35. Now, to get the x on its own, what do we need to do? We need to divide both sides of our equation by 7. So on the left, we're going to get our x on its own, and we're going to have an inequality in the middle there. And 35 divided by 7, guys, what's it going to be? It's going to be 5, giving us our answer that x is less than 5. Question number 2 on the screen, guys. Drop ready in the chat when you're ready for this one as well. I just need to change my pen. Let's have a look. Making sure that I have the right width. Yeah, that's looking better now. That's looking better now. Guys, question number 2. Drop ready in the chat when you are ready, and we're going to have a look at that one. Patricia's ready, MJ's ready. Quite a few people are dropping ready in the chat, guys. Let's have a look at question number 2. It says, write 124 as a product of its prime factors. Guys, in this case, what do we have to do? We have to split 124 down into smaller and smaller factors until all that we are left with is our prime numbers. So we're going to start off by writing this as 62 multiplied by 2, and we're going to circle our 2 because it's prime. Then, guys, we're going to split our 62 down into 31 times by 2 and circle the 2 because it's prime. Now, this is a particularly interesting example of product of prime factors because we see that with 31, even though it's already even though it is a big number, it's already a prime number. So we can also circle that despite the fact that it's pretty big, and writing it as a product of its prime factors, we're going to multiply those prime numbers that we split it down into. So we have 2 times 2 times by 31, and that, guys, is going to be our answer to question number 2. If you got that one, superb work. A little bit of a weird one with that big prime factor of 31, but if you got that, guys, well done. Now, keeping the pace high today, just like yesterday, because exams are now around the corner, we're going to be moving on to question number 3. Let me just check how many marks is up for grabs in this one. We have 5 marks up for grabs here. 5 marks up for grabs. and I'm going to give you guys 2 or 3 minutes for this one. Nice to see that the stream is another popular one. We're up to 700 people. A lot of people are asking what paper this is. This, guys, is the Edexcel June 2022 Paper 1 Higher Tier. Question number 3. I'm going to give you guys another couple of minutes for this. Any questions, let me know. For anybody who wasn't here at the start, I'm doing a giveaway today, and we're doing a giveaway, I should say. Guys, if you tag my GCSE Maths in the comment section of the Maths Made Easy or MME Revised TikTok account, you're going to be in with winning a chance of a set of GCSE Maths practice papers. Can be the grade 9 papers if you want. And yeah, just mentioning that now for any new people who have joined since the start. Guys, question number 3. Give me another couple of minutes, or I should say I'm going to give you another couple of minutes, and then we're going to go through this one. Let's have a look. Guys, drop ready in the chat when you're ready, and we'll talk about question 3. I don't want to give you guys too long for this, because even though it's a 5 marker, you don't need to do too much. M. Starling thinks it's 30. Somebody else thinks it's 16. Afnan is ready. Sam says, can you upload this as a full video, please? Yep, every single live, guys, is recorded and uploaded straight to the YouTube channel. Question number 3, let's have a look. The question says that a delivery company has a total of 160 cars and vans. We're told that the ratio of the number of cars to the number of vans is 3:7. We're told that 1/8 of the cars use electricity, 25% of the cars use diesel, and the rest of the cars use petrol. The question asks us to work out the total number of cars that use petrol. Guys, what are we going to do? Step number 1, we're going to work out our total number of cars. How do we work out our total number of cars? Well, we know that the total number of vehicles is 160, and they're in the ratio 3:7. So we can start off by working out the number of parts in our ratio. We can do 3 plus 7. That's going to give us 10 parts in our ratio. Then we're going to work out the size of one part of our ratio. We're going to do 160 divided by 10, and that's going to tell us that each part in our ratio is worth 16 vehicles. We don't have one part cars though, do we? We have 3 parts. So now working out the total number of cars, we're going to do 16, which is the number of vehicles per part in our ratio, times by 3, which is the number of parts that we have. 16 times by 3, guys, that is going to give us 48. So we now know that the total number of cars is 48. Where do we go from here? Well, we want to work out the number that use petrol. First off, we can work out the number that use electricity. We know that 1/8 of the cars use electricity. So we can do 1/8 times by 48 to work out the number that use electricity. 1/8 times by 48, guys, that's just going to be 48 divided by 8, which is 6. So we have 6 electric cars. What about the 25% that use diesel? Next step, we're going to work out 25% of our number of cars. We have 48 cars, working out 25%. We're going to do 0.25 times by 48. 0.25 times by 48, guys. We can halve it and halve it again. Halving it, we get 24. Halving it again, we get 12. So we have 12 diesel cars. What about our number of petrol cars then, guys? We're going to do our total number of cars, 48, subtract our number of diesel cars, subtract our number of electric cars, and we're going to get 30 as our total number of petrol cars, giving us, guys, 30 as our answer to this one. Guys, talk to me in the chat. Did we get that one? Let's have a look. Let's have a look. Somebody said you can just do 1/4 of 48 to find 25%. That is exactly right. Good work. Bruce says, let's go. Ash is putting that tick up. Love to see it. Josh says yes. Kay says yes. Guys, congratulations if you got that one. An early 5 marks. Next up, question number 4 on the screen, guys. We have 4 marks up for grabs here. We have part A, we have part B, and we have part C here. Let's have a look and see what we can do. Looking at the YouTube chat for the first time in a while, we've got Charlotte on today, we've got HW, we've got Mary B. Guys, good to have you back. The community is getting stronger and stronger. Looking at the TikTok chat now, Famalam, good to have you on, my friend. As ever, I'm going to be relying on you a lot over the next couple of days. We've got a couple of big days ahead of our paper 1. Quite a few people think that the answer to part 4a is 0.00163. Are we correct? Let's have a look. Guys, the question asks us to write 1.63 times by 10 to the negative 3 as an ordinary number. When we have 10 to a negative power, instead of multiplying by 10 and then 10 and then 10 again, what we do is we have to divide by 10, divide by 10, and divide by 10. That is what our negative powers represent. What are we going to get when we divide 1.63 by 10 three times? Well, we're going to have to move that decimal point 3 times. Moving it once we get 1.63, moving it so we don't get 1.63, moving it once we get 0.163, twice we get 0.0163, and 3 times we get 0.00163, guys, giving us our answer of 0.00163. Another way to think about that is that our answer here, when we convert it out of standard form, has 3 zeros, and our power there is a negative 3. That's always going to work when it comes to converting numbers out of standard form, and the power is negative. Guys, good work if you got that one. Let's have a look at question 4b. It says write 438,000 in standard form. What do we reckon for this one? In this case, to anybody who said 4.38 times by 10 to the power of 5, congratulations, you are correct. In this case, what do we do to write this number in standard form? We write it as a number between 1 and 10 times by 10 to some power, where the power tells us the number of places we move the decimal point to get from our original number to the number that we have here. The decimal point starts here. We move it 5 places to the left to get it between the 4 and the 3. So we get our answer of 4.38 times by 10 to the power of 5. Finally, guys, let's have a look at question 4c. We are moving at quite a nice pace today. What's it going to be? The question says, work out 4 times by 10 to the 3 times by 6 times by 10 to the negative 5. How are we going to do this? When we have one number in standard form times by another number in standard form, what we do is we multiply our number by our number and our 10 to the power by our 10 to the power. So in this case, we do our 4 times by our 6, which is going to give us 24, and then we do our 10 to the 3 times by 10 to the negative 5. When we have a base to a power, and we times it by the same base to another power, what do? We add those powers together. In this case, 3 plus minus 5, that, guys, is going to give us minus 2. So we can write this as times by 10 to the power of minus 2. Now, our question does ask us to give our answer in standard form. And at the moment, this isn't going to be in standard form. Why? Because this is not a number between 1 and 10. So what are we going to do? We're going to rewrite this as 2.4, turning it into a number between 1 and 10. And how does that affect our power? What we're going to have to do, guys, is add 1 to our power. We're going to get 10 to the power of negative 1. You can think about this as you've made this number 10 times smaller, so you have to divide by 10 one less time to get your original number. Because we moved the decimal place 1 place to the left, we have to add 1 to our power. We go from negative 2 to negative 1. Guys, if you got that one, superb work. I'm going to give you 5 seconds to screenshot. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And we're going to be moving on, guys, to question number 5. We have 3 marks up for grabs here. Quite a nice question, I would say. Not nice because it's easy. It's actually quite a difficult one. But it does help us revise a lot of topics at the same time, which is why it's pretty nice, I would say. Question number 5, giving you guys a couple of minutes. Guys, let me know in the chat as well. Can you hear the music that I have on in the background? I'm hoping you can't hear the music. The intention is to have it quiet enough that I hear it, but you guys don't. So let me know. Can you hear the music? Let's have a look. H says no, can't hear it. Okay, Mana Manu says no. Okay, guys, thank you very much for letting me know. That's going to allow me to keep teaching in peace, knowing that we're not going to get taken down or anything like that. Question number 5, guys. A tricky one here, and I'm going to help you out by drawing a line here and by telling you that the formula for the external angles in a regular polygon is 360 divided by n, where n is the number of sides. Guys, what we're going to have to do is work out this angle here, which is the external angle for our hexagon, and this angle here, which is the external angle for our pentagon, and add those together. I'm going to give you guys another couple of moments, and then we're going to have a look. Nice to see the stream is popular today. 430 of us. We are putting in the work. It sounds like English literature. Can't even speak. It sounds like English literature today was not too bad. That's nice. It's one of the big papers out the way. Guys, let's have a look at this one. Question number 5. It says, here is a regular hexagon and a regular pentagon. Work out the size of the angle marked X. You must show all of your working, and I've kind of drawn a line over it, but that's going to be this angle here. What we're going to do, guys, is we're going to use the fact that what we effectively have is an exterior angle for a regular hexagon. So that is a hexagon, exterior angle, and this is a pentagon, exterior angle. We're going to find the size of both of those and add those together. How do we find the size of the hexagon exterior angle? Well, the hexagon has 6 sides, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. What we're going to have to do then is 360 divided by 6 using that formula for the exterior angles of a regular polygon. 360 divided by 6, guys, that is going to give us 60, telling us that this angle here is 60. Now, what about, guys, the exterior angles for a regular pentagon? This time we're going to do 360 divided by 5. 360 divided by 5, guys, that is going to be 72. You could do that using the bus stop method if you'd like. Finally, finding the total size of angle X, we're going to do our 60 degrees plus our 72 degrees, which, guys, is going to give us 132 degrees as our angle. Guys, if you got that one, superb work. Having a look at the chat now. Any questions, let me know. How did we find that one? Josh said I did it using the interior angles, found it way easier. That's also completely fine, guys. You could have used the formula for the interior angles in a polygon and done it that way, but this is the most direct way, I would say. So I would go with that one. Somebody saying you could use the angles around a point method. Yep, you definitely could. Find this angle, subtract them both from 360. That would also do the trick. Guys, question number 5. 5 seconds to screenshot. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And we are on to question number 6. You can see, guys, I've done this one for you, and that's because you need the paper printed out to do this question. So I'm going to give you 5 seconds to screenshot. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And we're going to move on to question number 7. Guys, I've kind of found that when you need the paper printed out to do a question, a lot of people end up leaving the stream. So from now on, guys, I write out the solutions for those ones, and you can just screenshot them and see what I've done if you're interested in those ones. Thank you, Famalam, for doing a superb job on the moderation side of things. Question number 7, guys. Let's have a look. This is a classic question on density. Questions like this are coming up quite a lot, or they have been coming up quite a lot, I should say, in the recent years. Question number 7, giving you guys another couple of moments, and then I'm going to talk about it. At this point, I'm going to give you guys a little way into the question, and that is to give you the formula that density is equal to mass divided by volume. That's going to help you if you didn't know that one. I want to kind of minimize the number of people who are just waiting for me to go through it. Density equals mass over volume. That is going to be the formula that we need to use here. Guys, I'm going to set up a poll in about 30 seconds, and I'm going to ask you all to vote on whether you want me to go through it or whether you want a little bit more time. They're cool, the polls nowadays. You can do them with a happy face and a sad face. It's pretty cool. In fact, I'll do it now. Otherwise, too much suspense. Okay, setting up the poll now, guys. Can you please put a happy face in the chat if you're ready for me to go through it, and a sad face if you would like a little bit more time. Have your vote, everybody. There's 422 of us watching. Absolutely superb, and I can see that the majority of people do want me to go through it. Okay, guys, let's have a look. Question number 7, what's it going to be? The question says, here are two cubes, A and B. We're told that cube A has a mass of 81 grams and cube B has a mass of 128 grams. We're asked to work out the ratio of the density of cube A to the density of cube B, giving our answer in the form A to B, where A and B are integers. Guys, let's work out the density of A and the density of B. How are we going to do it? Let's write out density of A. And we're going to need to do our mass of A divided by our volume of A. What's our mass of A? We can see that it's 81 grams. What's our volume? We don't actually know it at the moment. However, we do know how to work out the volume of a cube. We know that this side length is 3, so to work out our volume, we can do 3 times by 3 times by 3. So we're going to do volume equals 3 times 3 times 3, which is 27. So we can substitute in our 27 and we get 81 over 27, which, guys, we can simplify. We can actually divide the top and bottom both by 27 and we would end up with 3 over 1, which is going to be 3. You could do that by dividing top and bottom both by 9 and then by 3. That would be a little bit of an easier way to do it, but you can just go straight there. Now, what about the density of B, guys? We're going to do exactly the same thing. So for our density of B, what are we going to have? We're going to have our mass of B divided by our volume of B. What's our mass of B? We know from the question that it's 128. What about the volume of B? Again, we've been given a side length and we know it's a cube. So we can do 4 times by 4 times by 4. Volume equals 4 times by 4 times by 4. 4 times by 4 is 16. And 16 times by 4, guys, that is going to give us 64. So we know that our volume there is 64. Now, top and bottom, we can divide them both by 64. And what do we get when we divide top and bottom both by 64? We get 2 over 1, which is just 2. So giving our answer for the ratio of the density of A to the density of B, the density of A is 3, the density of B is 2. So, guys, we can give our answer as 3 to 2. Guys, if you got that one, superb work. Just realized I went a little bit off screen there. A couple of people asking how many marks that one was. That was a 3-mark question. Ruben Fernandez in the chat again. Good to have you, my friend. Emma Kelly said, would using the grid method be acceptable for showing working out? Definitely, Emma, you can definitely do that. In fact, it's a perfect method. Somebody asking why it's 3 times by 3 times by 3. That's because we have a cube with side lengths of 3. Guys, question number 8. This is another one that's going to require quite a bit of work. Zooming in for you guys. Let's have a look. 3 marks up for grabs again in this one. A super classic question. This comes up all the time in higher papers, AQA and at Excel. Let's have a look. Again, giving you guys a little bit of time, and then we're going to go through it. Hey, can you guys over on YouTube let me know? Can you hear me clearly? Is everything clear audio-wise? Jay Gomez says, is it higher? Yes, my friend, it is a higher paper. Question number 8. Here we have the mean from a grouped frequency table. A fair bit of work required for this one. Thank you, Emma, for confirming that the audio is clear. I have to use 2 mics nowadays to go live on YouTube and TikTok at the same time. Mia says, what are the main topics to focus revision on for higher? Great question. You can have a look at the hot topics list at the top of my TikTok page, and it will go through it there. Guys, question number 8 on the screen. Please have a vote for me. Happy face if you're ready for me to go through it. Sad face if you would like a little bit more time. You guys know the drill. I'm going to be using this feature quite a lot. I think Famalam said that you can only use it 5 times a day or 6 times a day. Today we're going to find out whether that's the case. We can see that the majority of people are voting for go through this. Okay, guys, let's have a look. The question says that the table shows the amount of snow in centimeters that fell each day for 30 days. We have the amount of snow in the left-hand column and the frequency in the right. Then we're asked to work out an estimate for the mean amount of snow per day. Guys, how are we going to find an estimate for the mean from a grouped frequency table? What we're going to have to do first of all, guys, is we're going to have to draw another couple of columns on our table, and they're going to look something like this. What goes in those columns? First of all, we're going to have the midpoint for the midpoint of each of our intervals, and then we're going to have our midpoint times by our frequency to find our total, or an estimate I should say, for our overall total. How do we find the midpoint? That's going to be halfway between the top and the bottom of each of our categories. You can either do it in your head, or, well, yeah, you can either do it kind of intuitively, I should say, or you can work out the difference between the top number and the bottom number, and divide that by 2, and then add that to the bottom. In this case, halfway between 0 and 10, we're going to have 5. Halfway between 10 and 20, we're going to have 15. Halfway between 20 and 30, we're going to have 25. Halfway between 30 and 40, we're going to have 35. And halfway between 40 and 50, we're going to have 45. Now, to work out an estimate for our total amount of snow, we're going to do our frequency times by each of our midpoints. So, we're going to do 8 times by 5. That's going to give us 40. Then we're going to do 10 times by 15, that's going to give us 150. Then we're going to do 7 times by 25, that's going to give us 175. Guys, you can definitely do that using the column method. Then we're going to do 2 times by 35, that's going to give us 70. Then we're going to do 3 times by 45, that is going to give us 135. And then what do? We're going to find the total of this column here. So we're going to add together all of our midpoints and our frequencies. 40 plus 150 is 290, plus 175 plus 70 plus 135. That, guys, is going to be 570. That's going to be 570. Absolutely use column addition for that. You should do the 0 plus a 0 plus a 5 plus a 5. That will turn into 10, carry the 1, etc., etc. Definitely don't do that in your head, guys. Now, where do we go from there? What we're going to need to do is we're going to have to divide this number here, our total overall amount of snow, by our frequency. So we're going to have to find our total frequency. So I'm going to write TF equals 8 plus 10 plus 7 plus 2 plus 3. What do these add to, guys? 8 plus 10 is 18. Plus 7 is going to give us 25, plus 2 plus 3, we're going to get 30. Final step, what's it going to be, guys? We're going to need to do our total 570 divided by our total frequency of 30. You could do that using the column method, guys. What I'm going to do is I'm going to divide top and bottom both by 10, cancel out those zeros, and we're going to get 57 over 3. That, guys, is going to simplify to 19. Again, you can do that using the bus stop method. 57 on the inside, 3 on the outside. 3 goes into 5 exactly once, remainder 2. 3 goes into 27 9 times, giving us 19. Guys, if you got that one, superb work. 19 is going to be our answer there. What did we do for this one? We worked out our midpoints, then our midpoints times by our frequencies, then we did our total value of the midpoint times by the frequency, divided by our total frequency of 30, and that gave us our answer of 19. Guys, absolutely superb work if you got that one. 5 seconds to screenshot. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and we're on to question number 9. 3 marks up for grabs here, guys. I would say this is a pretty annoying question. In general, this is a difficult paper. Guys, for any of you as well who weren't here at the start of the session, we've got a pretty nice announcement today. We've got a pretty nice announcement, and it's really important that I tell you guys because I think it could really help a lot of people. Today's stream is sponsored by Maths Made Easy Revise. I'm not sure if you guys are familiar with them. It's a website, it's a platform that has revision for a bunch of subjects. Of course, it has maths, but it also has science and English. And you can get a 50% discount off your first month with them with the code MyGCSEMaths50. And basically, the reason that I kind of set up this partnership is because a lot of people have been asking me, guys, how do I revise for a specific subject, or sorry, I should say a specific topic, when I'm struggling with them in every single past paper. Guys, the best overall revision method is definitely just to do past papers to join these streams, but Maths Made Easy is a superb website, superb platform for going into specific revision for those points that you struggle with. So yeah, if you weren't there at the start, guys, you can use the code MGM50 and you get 50% off your first month. Takes it down to like £10, which is, you can tell your parents it's the price of 3 meal deals, and it could be the difference between a grade 4 and a grade 5, or a grade 7 and a grade 8. So it really is worthwhile, guys. Question number 9. I'm going to give you guys another 30 seconds or so, and then we're going to go through the answer to this one. Quite a lot of work involved. You have to be really careful not to make silly mistakes with this one. Quite a few people asking if we're still in the crossover section. Yep, this is crossover. This is crossover. Somebody thinks it's 278. Guys, let me know in the chat when you're ready for this one. Drop ready in the chat when you're ready, and we're going to talk about this one. Somebody saying, when are you doing higher only? I think it's in about 3 questions off the top of my head. Guys, question number 9. Quite a few people are dropping ready in the chat. Let's have a look at question number 9. What's it going to be? The question says, a cube is placed on top of a cuboid as shown in the diagram to form a solid. So we have the cube up here and the cuboid down here. It says the cube has sides, of length 4 centimeters. The cuboid has dimensions 7 centimeters by 6 centimeters by 5 centimeters. Work out the total surface area of the solid. Guys, the key here is going to be to recognize that this side here is going to be not included at all. So this kind of face here, which is the bottom of our small cube, is not going to be included. So we're going to have to adjust for that. Let's get it done. Firstly, let's work out the area of the bottom face. That's going to be 7 times by 6. Then we're going to add to that. Let's work out the size of this face here and this face here. Well, we have 2 of these faces. They have a height of 5 and a width of 6. So we can do 2 times by 5 times by 6. Onto that, we're going to have to add the front face and the back face. The front face and the back face, they have a width of 7 and a height of 5. We have 2 of those faces, so we can do 2 times by 5 times by 7. We have 7 times 6, plus 2 times 5 times 6, plus 2 times 5 times 7. Where do we go from there, guys? What we're going to do is we're going to add on this top face here. This top face here, it has a width of 7 and a height of 6. Let's just call it width and height. You can call it width and length or whatever you really want to. So we're going to add to that 7 times by 6. However, we're going to have to subtract this face here, which is going to have a width of 4 and a length of 4 because it's part of this cube which has dimensions of 4. So we're going to have to subtract from that 4 times by 4. Now what I'm going to do, guys, is I'm going to simplify this. Then we can add on our remaining 5 faces for this cube at the top. What are we going to have? 7 times by 6. Actually, I'll write it in like this. So 7 times by 6, that's going to be, well, that's a little bit unclear. What I'm going to do is I'm going to move this down a little bit. 7 times by 6 is 42. 2 times 5 times 6. 5 times 6 is 30. Times 2 is going to be 60. Then we do 2 times 5 times 7. 5 times 7 is 35. Times 2 is 70. Then we have another 42 here. Then we have to subtract 16. So that's simplifying those values. What are we going to have to add on to that? We're going to have to add on. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 faces, all of which are going to have dimensions of 4 by 4. So we're going to do 4 times by 4 times by 5 to work out those ones. So 4 times by 4 times by 5. 4 times by 5 is 20, times by 4 is 80. So now we can add together all of our values, guys. We're going to do our 42 plus our 42 plus our 60 plus our 16 plus our 70 plus our 80. We add all of those together, guys. What are we going to have? Let's simplify this again. We're going to have 84 for these two. We're going to have 76 for these two. We're going to have 150 for these two. Yeah, all of that is looking good. Look, guys, mistake we made. That should be a minus. Correcting it there. Nicely done to anybody who spotted that. Thank you, thank you. Just look to the chat. Seems like a lot of you guys picked up on that. Really, really good job. Really, really good job. So that would be 44 when we simplify it. Now we add all of those together. When we add them, what are we going to get? These two added together are going to be 128 plus 150, guys, 278. To anybody who picked up on that mistake, very well done. Thank you. You're keeping it tight in here. Yep, 278 is our answer. Do they tell us the units? Yeah, they do. Centimeters squared. I just saw, guys, that a couple of people are asking what the discount code is for half price off this platform. The discount code for half price off is MGM50. So if you sign up and you use my GCSE Maths 50, instead of getting the first month for £20, it's £10. Guys, trust me when I tell you, it's an absolute bargain. It's well worth it. Really good to use in companion with these past papers. I'm going to be talking about it a little bit more at the end. Guys, 5 seconds to screenshot. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And we're moving on to question number 10. This, guys, is another one that I've done for you because it's on 2 pages. So I'm going to give you 3 seconds to screenshot this. 3, 2, 1. 3 seconds to screenshot this next page because, again, I've done this one for you because it's on 2 pages. I'm going to go 3, 2, 1, and we're going to move on to question number 11. 3 marks up for grabs here, guys. Zooming in to make everything nice and clear. People who are interested in that practice paper giveaway as well, especially for the grade 9 papers, which, to be honest, are really, really good. All you have to do is tag my GCSE Maths in one of their posts over on TikTok. Can be any of the posts. To be honest, they got some pretty funny posts. And then, yeah, I'm going to be selecting 10 people at the end of every single stream for the next 5 days or so. And, yeah, you guys are going to get them sent through in the post. And to be honest, I don't think that many people are going to be tagging. So if you're one of the like 10 people or 15 people who tag, you're pretty much guaranteed to get the papers. Of course, it depends how many people do tag. But yeah, all you have to do, tag my GCSE Maths in the comments of one of their posts. And I'm going to be just picking at random 10 people. And yeah, you can get the papers that way. And every time I say that, the number of people on the stream drops massively. So I hope that's you guys going over to tag me in the comments. And yeah, you get whichever papers you request. So I would go for the grade 9 papers, even if you're going for like a grade 7 or a grade 8. It's just really good practice. It's really good practice. Guys, question 11. Drop a happy face. Actually, no, not yet, not yet. I'm not going to do the vote yet. I'm going to give you guys a little bit more time because I want to give those people who just left to comment a bit more time to join back to the stream. Quite a few people think that the answer to this one might be 8. I'm going to be telling you guys in just about 30 seconds. Yeah, see, now quite a few people are LTAATL said, at Famalam, thank you. You hold up every day. Yep, Famalam does bits. We're going to have a moment of appreciation for Famalam after this question because he's our head moderator over here, and he does a fantastic job. He's a large part of the reason why we can even do this, guys. So yeah, we're gonna have a moment right after question 11. Guys, vote for me with a happy face if you're ready, and drop a sad face in the chat if you want a little bit more time for this one. Guys, let's have a look. It seems like the majority of people are ready for me to answer this one. Question number 11. Let's have a look. It says that Cormac has some sweets in a bag. The sweets are lime flavored or strawberry flavored or orange flavored. We're told that in the bag, the ratio of the number of lime flavored sweets to the number of strawberry flavored sweets to the number of orange flavored sweets is 9:4 to X. Okay. Then we're told that Cormac is going to take at random a sweet from the bag. We're told that the probability that he takes a lime-flavored sweet is 3/7, and we're asked to find the value of X, which is the number of parts for the orange-flavored sweets. guys, what we're going to do is we're going to start off by working out the total number of sweets in the bag, and then we can use our ratio. How are we going to do that? Well, we know that the probability of a lime-flavored sweet is 3/7, which means that the chances of choosing a lime-flavored sweet is 3/7, which means that the number of lime-flavored sweets represents 3/7 of our total number of sweets. So what we can say is that 3/7, oh, let me go back to orange, or not orange, blue. We can say that 3/7 of our total number of sweets is equal to 9 parts. Or our total number of parts, I should say, is equal to 9 parts. If 3/7 is equal to 9, how do we find the total value? Well, we can say 3/7 times by our total value is equal to 9. This is an equation which we can rearrange and solve. We can start off by multiplying both sides of the equation by 7. We're going to get that 3t is equal to 9 times by 7, which is 63. Then, guys, we can divide both sides of our equation by 3. We're going to get that t is equal to 21, which is 63 divided by 3. Where do we go from there? Well, we now know that the total number of parts in our ratio is 21. We want to work out the value of x, which is the number of parts representing orange flavors. We know total in 21. We know there's 9 parts for lime and 4 parts for strawberry. So, guys, we can do our 21, subtract our 9, subtract our 4. 21 take 9 is going to be 12, minus 4 is going to be 8, giving us our answer, guys, of 8. To anybody who got that one, absolutely fantastic. That was a difficult question, very difficult question. I'm going to give you guys 5 seconds to screenshot. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and we are going to go on to our next question. Guys, let me just move this up here because I know a lot of people are asking about this, so I'm just going to move it up here so you guys can see it a bit more often. There we go. There we go. We're going to have things running smoother and smoother by the day, guys. Oh, that wasn't so smooth, was it? Okay, let's just leave it at that. Guys, question number 12. This is a super important topic for your paper 1. I think this is one of the most likely topics to come up. Expressing reoccurring decimals as fractions. Reoccurring decimals as fractions. MK, unfortunately, that answer is not correct. Give that one another go, my friend. Looking at the chats now for the first time in a while, guys. Any questions? Please let me know. Question number 12 on the screen here. Owen says not all are reoccurring. Very well spotted, Owen. Quite a few people are starting to put answers in the chat. We have some people thinking it's 117 over 1,000. Some people 116 over 990. Some people 117 over 990. Guys, I'm going to set up another poll. And I'm going to say happy face if you're ready. Sad face if you want me to give you a little bit more time. Very, very popular topic in paper 1 here. We have 37 people at the moment, 43, 54. How high is it going to get? 60 people saying that they're ready. Guys, let's have a look at this one. Question number 12. The question says, express 0.117 reoccurring as a fraction. If we zoom in here, we can see that the only digits which are reoccurring are the 1 and the 7. Step number 1, guys, when it comes to answering a question like this, is we're going to say that x, or some other letter, is equal to our reoccurring decimal. So here we have 0.1 and then 17 reoccurring because the dots are on the top of the 1 and the 7, so it's the 1 and the 7 that repeat themselves, so we have 0.11717. Then what we do, guys, is we find increasing powers of 10 times by x until we have the same number after the decimal point. When we times by 10, we move the decimal point 1 place. This is going to become 1.17171, etc. We don't have a match after the decimal point, so we're going to find 100x. We're going to get 11.717171. We look again and we see that we don't have any matches after the decimal point between any of our powers of 10 of x, so we're now going to find 1000x. What do we get? We get 117.1717, etc. Now guys, we can see that we have a match, and the match is going to be between our 10x, which has 1717 after the decimal point, and our 1000x, which has 1717 after the decimal point. What does this mean, guys? It means that when we subtract our 10x from our 1000x, those decimals are going to cancel each other out. What does that allow us to do? It allows us to do 1000x minus 10x and say that that's equal to 117.1717, etc., minus 1.1717, etc. Where do we go from here? On the left-hand side, 1000x minus 10x is 990x, not 9990x, just 990x. Yeah, I'm bugging out a bit there. There we go, that's better, 990x. And on the right, what are we going to have? 117.1717 minus 1.1717. The decimals are going to cancel each other out, and we're going to be left with 117 subtract 1. 117 subtract 1, guys, that's going to be 116. So we have that 990x is equal to 116. Finally, guys, we want the value of x, which was our original reoccurring decimal, so we divide both sides by 990, we get 116 over 990, and that, guys, is going to be our answer. 0.117 reoccurring as a fraction is 116 over 990. Now, guys, if we want to, we could simplify this. Definitely an option. However, we don't have to here because they don't ask us to simplify. Guys, if you got that one, superb work. If you didn't get it, hopefully the explanation made sense. That was a pretty tricky question, but like I say, really important for our paper ones. This topic comes up very often in paper one, guys. Question number 13, 3 marks up for grabs here. Let's see what we can do. And I have to be honest with you guys, this is a very difficult paper. I'm just going to quickly go down to the bottom of the page again, and I'm going to pull this up just so you can see it while this question's on the screen, and then I'm going to go through the next answer. I didn't mention this yet, but if you buy any other products from their website, they were also kind enough to say that you can get 10% off with the code MyGCSEMaths10. So if you guys are in the market for anything else, head over there. They've got a bunch of stuff for sale for all different subjects. So yeah, you could use MGM10. That code for the subscription half price was MGM50. Like I say, the main reason to use that, guys, is to revise for specific topics. Past papers, definitely the best way for overall revision. However, if you're struggling with specific topics, go over and I think it's like, well, yeah, I don't think it is. I know that it's £10 with the code, which is a super good deal. Adil says use Maths Genie. You could also use Maths Genie, guys. You could use Maths Genie, but the reason that I'm saying about this one is because, to be honest, they are a little bit better. I've had like a bunch of people reaching out to me asking to sponsor the live stream, sponsor the channel, to partner and all that stuff, and I've asked politely so many people. Or let me rephrase that. I've said no to many people just because I don't believe in their products most of the time. I think in education, a lot of people are charging a lot of money for things that aren't that beneficial. But MME Revise, MME Premium is actually super beneficial for specific topic revision is what I'd say. So if you are interested, it's like £10 you'll get for the whole month. And you can use it alongside these past papers to revise topics that you don't really like. Or that you struggle with, I should say. Guys, question number 13. Are we ready for this one? This is a pretty nasty question. This is one actually that I've written the answer out already on the next page, just so you can screenshot a really accurate version, because I know a lot of people are going to be a little bit baffled by this, because it is a difficult one. Guys, question number 15. Drop ready in the chat when you're ready for me. Hey, Scarly, good to have you back. Afnan's ready. Riz is ready. MJ's ready. George is ready. Jack's ready. Luke Webster's ready. Guys, let's have a look at question number 13. You can see that I've already written out the solution to this one because it is long, especially for 3 marks. But don't worry, I'm going to talk you through it. Let's have a look. Question number 13. It says that a right-angled triangle is formed by the diameters of 3 semicircular regions A, B, and C as shown in the diagram. Show that the area of A, is equal to the area of B plus the area of C. Guys, what we're going to use here is we're going to use our knowledge of Pythagoras' theorem. What does Pythagoras' theorem tell us? It tells us that A squared plus B squared equals C squared, where C is our hypotenuse and A and B are the other two sides in our triangle. In this question, though, they've tried to trick us, and they've told us basically that this side length here goes with A because it's with semicircle A, this one here with C, and this one here with B. So guys, don't think that I've written Pythagoras' theorem wrong here. I've just adjusted it for the fact that the hypotenuse is now side length A and the other two sides are B and C. So where do we go from here? Well, we start off by acknowledging the fact that according to Pythagoras' theorem, this side squared plus this side squared is equal to this side squared. Now, where do we go from here? What we're going to do, guys, is we're going to come up with expressions for our area of region A, our area of region B, and our area of region C. How do we find the areas of these regions? Let's start off with C. We're going to label our side length here lowercase c. And we're going to say that to work out the area of C, which is a semicircle with a diameter of C, we're going to use pi r squared divided by 2. So because it's a semicircle, we're going to divide by 2, or times by a half. Then we're going to do pi r squared. So we have times by pi times by our radius, which is a half c squared. The diameter here we've called c, so the radius is a half c. We simplify this. 1 over 2c squared gives us 1 over 2 times by 1 over 2, which is 1 over 4 c squared. Then we times this by a half, we get 1 over 8 times it by pi c squared. Then we do exactly the same thing for the area of B and the area of C. So this is just exactly the same as we've done for C, but for B and A, the working out is exactly the same. Semicircle, so it's a half, then pi r squared. Pi, radius is a half B for B because the diameter is B. We simplify, we get 1 over 8 pi B squared, then we get 1 over 8 pi A squared. Then we come down, guys, and we see, okay, what does it actually mean for the area of region A to be equal to the area of region B plus the area of region C? Well, what we do is we do the area of region C squared, the area of region C, which is this, plus the area of region B, which is this, and we set it equal to the area of region A, which is this. And we can see that I have written that out slightly wrong, so I'm going to cross those out, and I'm going to turn them into A's. That was my habit there with Pythagoras. Luckily, we spotted that early on in the explanation. So yeah, 1 over 8 pi c squared plus 1 over 8 pi b squared equals 1 over 8 pi a squared. Where do we go from there? Well, what we do is we simplify this, and we see, okay, what does this expression actually represent? Well, we start off by dividing all of our terms by pi, so we cancel out these pi's. And then we multiply each of our terms by 8, so we cancel out these 1 over 8's. And what we get left with is c squared plus b squared equals a squared. And this, guys, is what we know to be true for a fact because of Pythagoras' theorem. So we've basically shown that this expression here is exactly the same as Pythagoras' theorem. If you calculate these values and add them together, you get this value. And that is actually the same as saying a squared, it's the same as saying Pythagoras' theorem, which we've written here with messed up letters because we've called this side B and this side C. Therefore, we have our proof. Somebody said only 3 marks. Ibogen, yep, 3 marks is brutal for that. 3 marks is brutal for that. Guys, I'm going to give you 5 seconds to screenshot. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Moving on to question number 14. This, guys, is another one which you need the paper printed out to complete. So I'm going to give you 5 seconds to screenshot. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And we're going to move on to question number 15. Guys, I'm going to zoom in just here. We have question 15, part A and part B on the screen. Looking at the chat now, I've not looked in a while, guys. Nice to see we have 360 of us on at the moment. Don't forget to tag my GCSE maths in the comments of one of MME Revise's posts for a chance at one of those practice papers in the raffle. I'll be choosing after today's stream. And all I'm literally going to do is go over to their page and pick randomly from all the people who tag me 10 people out, and you guys will be getting sent a practice paper if you want. Well, it's going to be a pack of practice papers actually, and if you want, it can be the grade 9 papers, which are super useful, guys. Super useful, to be honest. It's really nice actually to be able to partner with someone that I actually believe in, you know, because a lot of the different platforms and providers and stuff, you know, I'm not such a fan of what they do, but MME Revise, to be fair, they're doing a really good job. Guys, question 15A and B on the screen. I think we have 5 marks up for grabs here. Yeah, we have 5 marks up for grabs. We have some vectors questions. This, guys, is a difficult paper, I've got to be honest with you. Okay, Hand says, is it just because they are both a multiple of 5? You are exactly right. Or because one's a multiple of 5 of the other, I should say. Guys, question 15, let's have a look at part A. Question 15 says that A, B, and C are 3 points such that to get from A to B, we do 3A plus 4B. And to get from A to C, we do 15A plus 20B. We're asked then to prove that A, B, and C lie on a straight line. Guys, how are we going to show that these 3 points lie on a straight line? What we're going to have to show is that to get from A to B to the vector A to C, we can multiply the entire vector by a constant, and then because they have a point in common, point A, they're going to have to be on a straight line. How do we show that AC is a multiple of AB? Well, we can say that AC is equal to 5 times by 3A plus 4B. So what we've done there is we've factorized AC, pulling out a common factor of 5. Now what we've seen is that AC is 5 times by 3A plus 4B, which is actually our vector for AB. So we can rewrite this as AC equals 5 times by the vector AB, and there we're going to get all of our marks. Guys, if you got that one, superb work. Quite a weird vectors question there. And I'm also going to be putting the next question on the screen here. Guys, I'm going to be doing a vote in just about 30 seconds for when people are ready for this one. Today's paper, I think we're going to be finished with pretty early actually. There's only 22 questions, and if that is the case, I'm going to be teaching some other topics that I think are really likely to come up in paper 1. I'm going to be doing some surds, some indices, and some quadratics. We're going to be going away from the past paper after this one. GCSE revision said, what happened to the setup? Yeah, unfortunately, the software bugged out, and I lost my permission on TikTok to use the software, which was a little bit annoying, but I think this is still pretty good. We're certainly getting quite a few people joining, which is great to see. Guys, I'm going to set up another one of those quick polls. Drop a happy face in the chat if you're ready, and a crying face if you want a little bit more time. AMT in the chat, good to have you, my friend. Question number, what is it again? Oh yeah, 15. Question number 15B. Let's have a look at this one. It's certainly not an easy one. We're told that D, E, and F are 3 points on a straight line such that the vector D to E is 3E plus 6F, and the vector E to F is minus 10.5E minus 21F. We're asked to find the ratio of the length of DF to the length of DE. What we see is that we know the vector DE at the moment. The vector DE is 3E plus 6F. So we can start off by writing that in. The vector DE is going to be equal to 3E plus 6F. Now, what about the vector DF? We're going to have to work that out. Looking at these two, how can we get from D to F? Well, we can go from D to E, and then we can go from E to F. In other words, to get the vector DF, we're going to have to do the vector d to e plus the vector e to f. That's going to get us from d to f. What's that going to give us? Well, d to e is 3e plus 6f. And e to f is minus 10.5e minus 21f. We can now simplify this, guys. 3 minus 10.5e is going to be minus 7.5e. If you're not sure how to do that, guys, do a little bit of a recap of your adding and subtracting negative numbers. And then 6f minus 21f, guys, that's going to be minus 15f. Again, we're going to use our negative and positive arithmetic there. Now, how are we going to find the ratio of the length of d to f to the length of d to e? Well, what we're going to check is how do we get from the vector d to e to the vector d to f? How do we get from the vector d to e to the vector d to f? We can see that they both have an e and an f in. What we're going to do, guys, is we're going to start off by factorizing both of these so that they have the same thing inside the brackets. We can rewrite d to e. We can pull out a factor of 3. We're going to have 3 times by e plus 2f. And what would we need to factorize this by to get e plus 2f in our brackets? Well, we need 1e at the front of the bracket, so we're going to have to pull minus 7.5 out of the bracket. So we have minus 7.5 times by e plus 2f. Why? Because minus 7.5 times by 2 gives us our minus 15. Where do we go from there, guys? Well, we can now see the relationship between the length of DE and the length of DF. DE is 3 times by E plus 2F, and DF is minus 7.5 times by E to 2F. When it comes then to working out the ratios of the two, we can say that the ratio is going to be 7.5 to 3. Why? Because this is, actually it's D to F to D to E, yeah. Because this is 7.5 lots of E plus 2F, and this is 3 lots of E plus 2F. Now, why did we get rid of that fraction? The reason that we could get rid of that fraction, that negative. The reason we could get rid of that negative, guys, is because we are working out the length of DF to the length of DE. When it comes to working out lengths, we're not interested in directions, which is what our positive negative tells us. Now, guys, we're going to simplify this. We may as well. We can multiply both sides by 2. We're going to get 15 to 6. Then we can divide both sides by 3. We're going to get 5 to 2. Guys, 5 to 2 is our answer there. You could have written it as 7.5 to 3. It doesn't matter what form you leave your answer in there. You can write it in either way. Guys, talk to me in the chat. How was that one? Did you get it? That was a pretty difficult question. I have to say, this is definitely a hard paper. H says, can we leave the minus in? In this one, you wouldn't be able to leave the minus in because then you wouldn't be working in the world of lengths. You would be working in the world of directions. So in that situation, you wouldn't be able to leave the minus in. Lizzie says, a little confusing. Guys, I'm going to say, even if you didn't understand that one, don't let it stress you out because, like I say, that was a really difficult question. Even for people who thought they understood vectors, if that one didn't make too much sense, please don't let that make you panic. Really difficult question there. Guys, a few seconds to screenshot. Let me just move the iPad down a little bit. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And we're going to move on to question number 16. Another difficult question here, guys. Question 16. Let's have a look. 4 marks up for grabs. This, guys, is a 2022 paper, and it would definitely, I'm not sure with the grade boundaries off the top of my head, but it would definitely have some pretty low grade boundaries. The reason we're doing this paper today, a few days before our exam, is because we want to get this difficult one out of the way. And the next paper I would say that we're going to be doing, which is going to actually be for higher students the day before the exam, is an average difficulty paper, maybe slightly more difficult than average. couple of people are asking what that last topic was called. That last topic was called vectors. And in particular, it uses some logic from column vectors. A couple of people are saying you got to slow down a bit, bro. Hey, let me set up a quick poll. Let me set up a quick poll. Thank you for the feedback. Guys, I'm going to set up a quick pace poll. There's 260 of us on at the moment, and could as many people as possible vote, please? Basically, guys, there's going to be 3 options. Would you like me to kind of keep at the same pace, slow down a little bit, or speed up a little bit? And I will be going with the majority. And I gotta say, guys, this is a pretty difficult paper. Maybe we'll snooze the pace a little bit for the final questions, because we have got until 7 o'clock, and we're probably looking at finishing this paper in the next maybe 20 minutes or so. Quite a few people are saying a little bit slower. Guys, don't vote in the chat. Please, please, please vote for me in the poll in the top left-hand corner. Just click it there, and let's see what people are thinking. Okay, awesome. So we have 17% saying speed up. We have 40% saying stay the same. We have 50% saying slow down. Guys, there's 240 of us. There's only been 80 votes. Please, as many people as possible vote. Have your voice heard, and I will go with the majority. I am conscious. I have been talking pretty quickly today. For anybody who, even after I slow down a little bit, thinks it's still too fast, I should say, the recordings of all of the streams are uploaded to the YouTube channel, so you can see it over there. It's amazing. My music's also just got slower as well. It's like there's some higher force saying, "Come on, man, slow down a bit." Okay, I'm gonna give you guys a little bit more time for this one. I'm also gonna start speaking a little bit more slowly, not too slowly, but a little bit more. We have 21% of people saying speed up. We have 37% saying stay the same. And we have 42% saying slow down. So I am going to be reducing the pace a little bit. Guys, the way to vote is not in the chat. The way to vote is in that poll in the top left-hand corner. There's way too many chats for me to keep track of it. Famalam over on the YouTube said, I've never seen a slow down vote that high. Yeah, man, I agree. For anybody who really wants to get my attention as well, a good way to do it is to go over to the YouTube feed, because I'm live on both at the same time, and to just put your comment over there, because there's way less people over there. Guys, question number 16. A lot of people have been asking about this, so I will put it a little bit higher. There we go. I might need to move it down a little bit further, to be honest. There we go. I'll drop that just there. Now I'm going to do a vote, because I've given you guys enough time for this one. I think I'm going to set up a quick poll. I can't set up a quick poll while the text poll is in progress. Interesting. Guys, are you ready for this one? Just drop it in the chat for me if you're ready. Again, it's another difficult question. I feel like I keep saying that with this paper, but to be honest, it is a difficult paper. Okay, most people saying they're ready. Awesome. Guys, question 16. I don't want a ruler. Let's have a look at this one. The question says that a first aid test has 2 parts, a theory test and a practical test. The probability of passing the theory test is 0.75. The probability of passing only one of the 2 parts is 0.36. The 2 events are independent. Work out the probability of passing the practical test. Guys, what we're going to have to do here is set up a tree diagram to represent what's going on. We know, first of all, that for our theory test, let's put that one first of all, the probability of passing is 0.75. So let's put pass over here, 0.75. And that means that the probability of failing is going to be 0.25, because on our tree diagrams, the trees have to add to make 1. Now, what about our second test? For our second test, we don't actually know the probabilities. The second test is the practical test, right? Practical, yeah, practical. Let's say that pass is up here and fail is down here, and let's call the probability of passing x and the probability of failing 1 minus x. The reason we can call this one 1 minus x is because we know these two probabilities have to add to make 1. Let's do the same with the failing, and we know, because they are independent, that the probabilities are going to be the same whether we pass or fail the first test, so we can do x and 1 minus x as pass and fail respectively. Now, where do we go from there? Let me move this banner down a little bit to get us a little bit more room. I'm going to come back up. We know that the probability of passing only one of the two parts is 0.36. And we know to work out the probability of passing only one of the two parts, we can do the probability of passing and then failing plus the probability of failing and then passing. These are the two different ways. These are the two different ways to pass only one part, and we know that this probability is equal to 0.36. What we can do is we can set up an equation in terms of x, which includes the probability of pass failing and then fail passing, and set it equal to 0.36. Probability of passing and then failing. Passing and then failing, we have 0.75 times by 1 minus x. So we have 0.75 times by 1 minus x. What about the probability of failing and then passing? The probability of failing the first time is 0.25. Then after that, we have to pass, so we go 0.25, and then x, so we times it by x. And we know that this is equal to 0.36. Next up, we can expand these and simplify. 0.75 times by 1, that's going to be 0.75. And then 0.75 times by minus x, we're going to have minus 0.75x. Expanding the right-hand bracket, we're just going to have 0.25 times by x. So we're going to add 0.25x. That's going to be equal to 0.36. Where do we go from there, guys? This is an equation which we can rearrange and solve. Zooming in, what are we going to have? Well, I'm going to do minus 0.75 plus 0.25, which is minus 0.5. Then I'm going to move it over to this side by adding 0.5x to both sides. So on the right-hand side, we're going to end up with positive 0.5x. We do minus 0.75x plus 0.25x, gives us minus 0.5x, and then move it to the other side, so we add it to both sides. Then we can move this 0.36 over to the other side. We do 0.75 minus 0.36, and we get 0.39. What does that tell us, guys? It tells us that 0.39 is equal to 0.5 times by x. Now to find the value of x, we can multiply both sides of our equation by 2, because to get from 0.5x to 1x, we times it by 2. So we do that to the left-hand side as well. We get x equals 0.78. Let's have a look back to the original question. It said work out the probability of passing the practical test. Our probability was x. So we found our probability of passing the practical test. Guys, it's going to be 0.78. If you got that one, guys, superb job. I'm going to be waiting on this question for quite a while because I know it was a really difficult one. If you thought you understood tree diagrams and then you did this question and you didn't get it, don't let that make you panic. This is not a standard tree diagrams question. This is a grade 9 tree diagrams question. So don't let this make you panic. Don't let this make you panic. Guys, talk to me in the chat. Do you want me to explain any parts of that again? Hey, good to have you on the YouTube chat as ever. A couple of people are panicking about this question. But honestly, don't let it stress you out. This was a difficult question. Okay, guys, it seems like the majority of people want me to move on. So I'm going to give you 5 seconds to screenshot. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and we're going to move on to question 17. We're going to move on to question 17. Guys, to anybody who did want me to explain that previous one again, consider watching the recording of this, which is going straight up to YouTube. You can watch back any of the questions there, and it will hopefully help to clear things up. It's uploaded literally straight away, so that should help. That should help. Sorry to those who did want me to explain it again. I just had to go with the majority there. Any questions, guys? Let me know. I'm going to give you quite a bit of time for this one because a lot of people did want me to slow down. We have 4 marks up for grabs here. 4 marks up for grabs. Questions like this have been pretty popular in recent years, so this is definitely a good one to focus on. Quite a lot of legwork, I have to say, but it's not too bad when it makes sense. Guys, hit me with any questions now. Oh, somebody's saying it's not quite in the window on YouTube. Yeah, thanks for letting me know. Thank you for letting me know. Sorry about that, Ross Mac. Thanks for letting me know. Should be sorted now. Should be sorted. Okay, guys, a little bit more time to go through this one. Question number 17. A couple of people asking how many questions are left. We have, I think, 22 or 21 questions in this paper, so not many questions left at all. But guys, I am going to be live till 7 tonight. So even if we finish, I'm going to be teaching some really important topics for paper 1, so you can feel free to stay around for that part. Guys, question 17. Drop ready in the chat when you're ready. A couple of people are asking what the YouTube channel is called. The YouTube channel is just my GCSE Maths. The link is in my bio. Guys, question number 17. Let's have a look at this one. Just give me 2 seconds. Yep, now we're ready. Zooming out a little bit, let's have a look. We're told in this question that y is directly proportional to the square root of t. And then we're told that y equals t when t equals 9. This is a dead giveaway at the start of the question, guys, that we can work out the value of the constant. So what we're going to do is we're going to set up our equation for direct proportionality. We can say that y, let me go back to blue. We can say that y is equal to k, our constant, times by the square root of t. Then what we can do is we can substitute in the values of y and t that we know, and that's going to allow us to find the value of k. When y equals 15, t equals 9, so we have 15 equals k times by the square root of t, which is the square root of 9. We can calculate the square root of 9, it's 3, so we have 15 equals k times by 3. Now to find the value of k, guys, we can divide both sides of our equation by 3. I'm just going to move this down, and we're going to get that 5 is equal to k. So we can rewrite our equation over here. We're going to get that y is equal to 5 times the square root of t. Now we can do exactly the same thing for our second equation. This time we're told that t is inversely proportional to the cube of x. This time we have inverse proportionality, so we can say that t is equal to, and I'm going to change color just to make this clear. I'm going to say that t is equal to k over x cubed. The reason it's k over instead of k times is because this time we have inverse proportion. The reason we had the square root of t before was because it was directly proportional to the square root of t. Very much similarly, the reason that we have x cubed here is because it's inversely proportional to the cube of x. A couple of people are going to be asking if we can use k or if we have to use a different letter. You can use k, you can use a different letter. They're not going to mind too much. Okay, let's substitute in our values of t and x to find the value of k. Substituting in t equals 8, we get 8 equals k over. Substituting in x equals 2, we get 2 cubed. We can simplify 2 cubed. We know that it's going to be 8 because 2 times 2 times 2 is 8. So we have 8 equals k over 8. Now, guys, to find the value of k, we can multiply both sides by 8. We're going to get that 64 is equal to k. Now we can rewrite our equation. We get t equals 64 over x cubed. However, guys, our work is not done here, because what's the question ask us to do? It asks us to find a formula for y in terms of x. What do we know? We know that y is equal to 5 times the square root of t. We also know that the value of t is equal to 64 over x cubed. So what we can do is we can plug this equation into the other equation. We can plug in that t is equal to 64 over x cubed. We're going to have y equals 5 times by the square root of 64 over t cubed. Where do we go from there, guys? When we find the square root of a fraction, we can do the square root of the top and the square root of the bottom separately. So we effectively have 5 times by the square root of 64 over the square root of t cubed. We can simplify this. We get y equals 5 times by the square root of 64 is 8. So we have 8 over the square root of t cubed. Now, guys, we're going to do 5 times by 8 over the square root of t cubed. We can write our 5 as 5 over 1, and then when we multiply fractions, we use the fact that it's top times by top and bottom times by bottom. 5 by 8 is going to give us 40 on the top, and on the bottom, we're going to have the square root of t cubed. That, guys, oh, did I use t? Made a mistake, guys. Sorry about that. We were a little bit asleep there. These should all be x's. These should all be x's. I'm guessing a few people put that in the chat. If you did, thank you very much. If you did put that in the chat, thank you very much. Yeah, you're exactly right. That should be an x and not a t. Guys, looking at the chat now, any questions, let me know. Let's have a look. Yeah, Paul Bennett said x, not t. Yeah, thank you very much for that. Thank you very much. Sometimes when we get towards the back end of the streams, you know, it's easy to make a little silly mistake here or there. Let's have a look. Rudy says it was perfectly explained. Hey, that's good to hear. Hopefully that made sense for you. Guys, was there anybody who didn't get that right the first time round, but after I explained it, it made sense? Because that, guys, is what we're here for. That is the sound of progress. That is what we're here for. Let's have a look. Somebody says, can't you simplify the x? Some people might be thinking, can I write it as over x to the power of 3 over 2, and then 40 times by x to the power of negative 3 over 2. You could also write it like that, but you can also write it like this. So either way is okay with that. Superb question if you're wondering that. But yeah, you can write it in either way. I'm just going to leave it like this. Nofila Fatima says, sorry I'm late, my assessments are going on. I'm not pretty active on the internet nowadays. Hey, no worries at all. That is definitely not a bad thing. That is definitely not a bad thing. Guys, 5 seconds to screenshot this one. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And we're going to be moving on to question number 18. Another 4 marks up for grabs here, guys. And this is another very difficult question. To be honest, this is a brutal paper. I wanted to get it out the way a few days before the exam. Really good practice, guys. Let's have a look. Work out the value of 5 and 4 ninths to the power of negative a half times by 4 and 2/3 over 2 to the power of negative 3. Gunal.London says, rah. Yeah, this is a long one, guys. This is a difficult one. However, it is one in which it's not too bad to pick up 2 or even 3 marks. So if you look at this and you're starting to panic, give it a go. Simplify these mixed numbers. Try and work out some of it and try and pick up 2 or 3 marks. I'm looking at the chat now, guys, for the first time in a while. If you have any questions, let me know. I'm just going to come down because I've had a lot of questions about this. And I'm going to move this banner up. I'll be talking a little bit more about this at the end. Super exciting partnership. Getting you guys a few discounts if you want them. Question 18. Any questions, let me know now in the chat. Somebody says, can you go back to the last question, please? I'm not going to be able to go back now. However, the live stream recording will be uploaded straight away to the YouTube channel, so you can feel free to watch back there. Famalam, you're doing bits in the chat. Hey guys, actually, in this moment, let's take a minute to just appreciate all the work that Famalam does for the lives, because the only reason that we're able to keep this as a space of, we only have 200 people on at the moment, but sometimes it's like 500, 1,500 people on, is because this guy in the chat, Famalam, used to be known as Famalam Cuz, but he's changed his name, is doing an awesome job moderating, kicking out people who are messing stuff up. So guys, everybody, let's have a round of applause in the chat for Famalam Cuz, because without him, guys, your experience would not be anywhere near as good. So guys, clapping emojis in the chat for Famalam Cuz. Thank you very much. Yeah, somebody said Famalam love. Come on. You're doing an awesome job, mate. I appreciate it a lot. Yeah, there we go, guys. A lot of appreciation going down in the chat. Thank you very much for responding to that. Everybody in the chat appreciates it, mate. Not just me. I mean, I really appreciate it, but everybody in the chat appreciates it. You can see so many people clapping. So, yeah, awesome. Awesome, awesome, awesome. GOJ says, Famalam, what a guy. Awesome. Guys, let me know. Are we ready? Hit me with a question. Are we ready for this one? Hit me with a question. Hit me with a smiley face is what I meant to say if we're ready. Hit me with a smiley face if we're ready. And a sad face if you want a little bit more time. A couple of people saying ready in the chat. Drop a little smiley face if you're ready, guys. And we will talk about it. Question number 18. What's it gonna be? We have 53 happy faces and we have 4 sad faces. So to those of you who want a little bit more time, feel free to turn the volume down, but we are going to be going through this question now. Let's have a look. The question says, work out the value of 5 4/9 to the power of -1/2 times by 4 2/3 over 2 to the power of -3. And what we're going to do, guys, is we're going to go through step by step, simplifying this and taking it as it comes. Let's have a look. Step number 1, let's swap these mixed numbers out for improper fractions. So, 5 4/9. 5 times by 9 is 45. 45 plus 4 is 49. So we can write this as 49 over 9, and we have that to the power of -1/2. We're going to times this by 4 2/3. 4 times by 3 is 12. 12 plus 2 is 14. So we have 14 over 3. The bottom, we're going to leave that for now. We have 2 to the power of -3. Where do we go from here? Well, we have here a fraction to a negative power. And it's not only a negative power, but it's also a negative fractional power. So what do we do? First of all, let's deal with the fact that it's negative. What do we do when we have a fraction to a negative power? We do 1 over whatever it otherwise would have been. In this case, we flip the fraction. We get 9 over 49 to the power of 1/2 times 14 over 3 over 2 to the -3. Where do we go from there? Well, when we have a fraction to a power, we do that power to the top and to the bottom. When we have a fractional power, instead of raising it to the power of the number on the bottom, we do the root of the number on the bottom. So here we can effectively do the square root of 9 over the square root of 49. We have times 14 over 3. Now, what about addressing this 2 to the power of -3? Well, 2 to the power of -3 is going to be 1 over 2 cubed. And let me actually write that in the above line of working out, just so it's clearer for when you guys screenshot it. So this is going to be over 1 over 2 cubed, which is, I'll do that in the next line of working out, actually, keeping things super clear, going to be 1 over 8. So we've simplified this, doing the root of the top and the bottom, and we have over 1 over 8. Let's keep things moving. Simplifying this, the square root of 9 is 3, and the square root of 49 is 7. So we have 3 over 7 times by 14 over 3. And then we are dividing by 1 over 8. We are dividing by 1 over 8. Dividing by 1 over 8, guys, is going to be the same as timesing by 8 over 1. So we can times this by 8 over 1. Let me say that again. Dividing by 1 over 8 is the same as timesing by 8 over 1. You can think of that as copy, swap, flip. keep flip change. Next up, guys, we're going to simplify this. On the top and the bottom, we have a 3, so we can just cancel these out. They're going to end up canceling each other out. We have a 14 here, and we have a 7 here, so we can divide the top and the bottom both by 7, so that cancels out this 7 and swaps this 14 for a 2. We divided top and bottom by 7 there. What do we end up with, guys? We end up with 2 on the top of our fraction and an 8 on the top of our fraction. We end up with 16 over 1, which is just 16. Hopefully the simplifications made sense there, guys. Another thing you could have done was to multiply it out and then divide top and bottom by any common factors. But this just makes things a little bit easier, I would say. Saved us a little bit of space. Hopefully that made sense for you guys. Any questions, let me know. Ross Mack on the YouTube said 16. Nicely done, my friend. Not an easy question there. Let's have a look. Harry Baldwin said, can you go over the very last step again, please? Yep, so what we did here was we divided top and bottom both by 3. That cancelled these 2 out. Then we divided top and bottom both by 7. That cancelled this 7 out, and it swapped this 14 for a 2, because 14 divided by 7 is 2. Then we had 2 times by 8, and that gave us 16. You could have done it by doing 3 by 14 by 8, and 7 by 3, and then cancelling down the normal way. Either would be completely fine. Guys, I'm going to give you now 5 seconds to screenshot. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And we're going to move on to question number 19. We have another 4-mark question here, guys. Every year when I do this paper on the streams, people struggle with it. It is a difficult paper, but stick with it. The more difficult the paper, the easier this Thursday is going to feel. Question 19 on the screen. Rick Grimes says quadratic formula. Definitely the quadratic formula is going to be helpful here, guys. Whilst you're doing this question, I'm going to take another quick moment to mention the new partnership today. Feel free to, turn the volume down if you've already heard me speak about this. I know it could be getting annoying, but I just want to make sure because it's a fantastic opportunity for everybody. So focus on this question. If you've already heard me talk about this, if you haven't heard me talk about it, feel free to listen in. So guys, starting from today, we've actually got a sponsor for the stream. The reason that I decided to partner with Maths Made Easy is because a lot of people have been DMing me, asking me the best way to revise for specific topics. We go through past papers a lot on these streams, and I'm not changing my tune, guys. Past papers are the best way to revise, hands down, no questions. However, a lot of people have been DMing me and mentioning that they're struggling with particular topics. So they go through past papers and maybe they always get stuck on questions like this, algebraic fractions, or questions like the last one. My advice in that situation would be to sign up for a platform like this. Now, I've managed to get us 50% off the first month using my GCSE Maths 50, which means it's only going to be £9.99 pretty much until the end of your exams. So it's going to be £9.99 in total. And basically what they have is they have videos and specifically question sheets for every single topic. So what I want you guys to do, potentially if you're interested in this, is basically to do the past papers with me. Past papers, guys, the best way to revise. But then if there are some niggling topics, sign up to this platform. It's going to cost like the same as 3 meal deals using this code. You have to use the code to get the discount. And you're going to be able to do that spotlight revision for those specific weaknesses. So yeah, past papers, still the best way to go. However, with this discount, the MME Premium platform, to be fair, is definitely worth it. Let me know in the chat, by the way, guys, is it annoying when I speak about this, or is it okay? Because I'm conscious, I've mentioned it quite a lot today, but I just want to get the message out because it's a really good deal for you guys. It's a really good deal. Huss said, don't waste your money on this, just use Maths Genie. Guys, if you want to use Maths Genie, definitely use Maths Genie. Maths Genie is still a pretty good platform. I would kind of recommend that. The reason that I'm going with MME, even though you have to pay for it, is because, to be honest, I do think it is significantly better than Maths Genie. I think the way it's designed is better. the videos are higher quality, the question sheets are higher quality. So that's the reason that I kind of am promoting and doing this partnership, I should say, with Maths Made Easy, because if you just want to stick with Maths Genie, that is completely fine. You know, I've got nothing against Maths Genie, but I do prefer these guys' platform. So for the sake of £10, you know, to improve your GCSE maths result, it's or potentially improve your GCSE maths result, it's definitely worth it. We've got quite a few Maths Genie fans in the chat. Fair play, fair play. It's also a good platform. Guys, question 19, I'm going to set up another poll in the chat now. Guys, drop a happy face for me if you're ready for me to go through it. And if you'd like a little bit more time, put a unhappy face. Guys, question number 19, 4 marks up for grabs. We have the majority by far asking me to go through it. 76 votes in total. Absolutely superb, guys. Question number 19. Let's have a look. The question says, solve 1 over 2x minus 1 plus 3 over x minus 1 is equal to 1. We're asked to give our answer in the form p plus or minus the square root of 2 over q, where p and q are integers. A bunch going on in this, guys. One thing that we see, as soon as we see this plus or minus the square root, we're thinking maybe this is going to involve the quadratic formula. I'll go through it step by step, guys, and see at which point that starts to make sense. So, how are we going to solve this equation? Well, we start off by looking at it and seeing that we don't like the 2x minus 1 and the x minus 1 on the bottom of our fractions. So what we do is we cross multiply. We effectively multiply every single term by 2x minus 1 and x minus 1. In the case of our 1 over 2x minus 1, the times by 2x minus 1 in the denominator will just cancel out. So we end up with that term of 1 times by x minus 1. In the case of our 3 over x minus 1, when we times it by the x minus 1, they cancel each other out. So we're just left with the 3 times by the 2x minus 1 from over here. On the right hand side, there's nothing at all to cancel out. So we end up with 2x minus 1 times x minus 1, and because we just have a 1 there, we can ignore that. We have 2x minus 1 times x minus 1. Now, guys, we have a really long equation which we can simplify and solve. How do we simplify and solve this? We start off by expanding all of our brackets. 1 times x minus 1, that's just going to be x minus 1, plus 3 times by 2x is going to be 6x. 3 times by minus 1 is going to be minus 3. That's going to be equal to our quadratic. Here, guys, we have a bracket times a bracket, so we use our FOIL method. 2x times by x is 2x squared. 2x times minus 1 is minus 2x. Minus 1 times by x is minus x. And minus 1 times minus 1 is going to be positive 1. Now, guys, we can collect all of our like terms and see what we have. On the left-hand side, x plus 6x is going to be 7x. Minus 1 minus 3 is going to be minus 4. That's going to be equal to 2x squared minus 3x plus 1, because minus 2x minus x is minus 3x. We copy down our plus 1. Where do we go from there, guys? We can see that this is a quadratic because we have the x squared. How do we solve a quadratic equation? We move everything over to the other side so that it's equal to 0. We're going to minus 7x from both sides. We're going to end up with 2x squared. Minus 3x minus 7x is minus 10x. And then we're going to have plus 1 plus 4, because we moved that minus 4. That's going to be plus 5 is equal to 0. I've also kind of flipped this side onto the left-hand side just to make things clearer. Hopefully that's not too confusing. Guys, we end up with the quadratic 2x squared minus 10x plus 5 equals 0. Where do we go from there to solve our quadratic? Well, one method we can use to solve a quadratic is to use factorizing. However, when we look at this and we see that our solutions are in the form p plus or minus root q over 2, we see that it's probably not going to be able to be factorized. So, what do we do when we can't factorize? We use the quadratic formula. The quadratic formula tells us that the solutions to a quadratic are equal to minus b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac over 2a, where a, b, and c are the coefficients in our quadratic. A is equal to 2, the number next to the x squared, b here is equal to minus 10, the number next to the x, and c is our number on the end, the 5. What we have to do from here, guys, is substitute each of those values into our equation. What are we going to have in this case? We have minus b, so we have minus 10 plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac. We have b squared, so minus 10 squared minus 4ac, so 4 times 2 times 5. All of this, guys, is divided by 2a, so 2 times by 2. Simplifying, what are we going to get? We can simplify our minus 10 to become plus 10, plus or minus the square root of. Let me go to a orange color. Minus 10 squared is minus 10 times minus 10, which is 100. 4 times 2 times 5, 4 times 2 is 8, times 5 is 40. So we have 100 minus 40, which is 60. All of this is going to be over 2 times by 2, which, guys, is 4. Where do we go from there? Well, we can see that we need to give our answer in the form p plus or minus the square root of q over 2, where p and q are integers. We can see at the moment that this is over 4. What we see is that we can actually simplify this surd. How do we simplify surds? We write them as the square root of a square number times by the square root of another number. In this case, we need a square factor of 60. 4 times by 15 is 60, and 4 is a square number. So we can write this as 10 plus or minus the square root of 4 times the square root of 15 over 4. Where can we go from there, guys? We have 10 plus or minus the square root of 4 is 2, so we have 2 root 15, and all of that is going to be over 4. We see that the form we need to give it in has a 2 on the denominator, so we're going to divide top and bottom both by 2. 10 divided by 2 is going to be 5. 2 root 15 divided by 2, we're just going to get plus or minus root 15, and on the bottom, let's do a little bit of a straighter line there, we're going to have our 2. Guys, we get our answer to this mammoth 4-mark question. We have 5 plus or minus a square root of 15 over 2. Guys, I'm now looking at the chat for the first time in a while. Talk to me. What's going on? Good to have you in the chat, random guy. Good to have you, Manvir Bonsal, on the YouTube. What about the TikTok guys? What are we saying? Rudy FTBL says, come on, guys, a difficult question here. MJ said 4 marks is just a robbery. Yeah, I'm going to agree with you. I think personally that this should be a 5 marker. But hey, unfortunately, guys, we can't make the rules. We have to go with what the exam board choose. Guys, looking at the chat, how does it go from square root 2 to just the square roots? Not sure what you meant there. If you kind of try and word it in a different way, I can try and answer your question. Guys, 5 seconds to screenshot. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And we're going to move on to question number 20. 4 marks up for grabs here again. 4 marks up for grabs. And to be honest, guys, I would be lying if I said this was an easy question. This is another really difficult question. In fact, guys, it is a difficult paper. It's a difficult paper. I would probably say this is the second most difficult GCSE maths paper I've seen. Yeah, I would say that. I'd say it's the second most difficult. So guys, please, please, please don't let this paper damage your confidence. The reason we're doing this, guys, is very deliberate. I'm trying to give you guys a hard time on the Monday live. Then on the Wednesday live, we're going to do a paper which is kind of normal difficulty, average, maybe a little bit more difficult than normal to put you in the perfect situation ahead of Thursday. So guys, this is a difficult paper. If you're thinking that the last 4 questions have been super difficult, that's because they have. It's not because you're not as good as you thought you were. Question 20 on the screen, guys. Our second to last question in this paper. And what I'm going to tell you right here is that a diagram is definitely going to help you for this. So I'm going to draw on a little diagram which might help initially. The center is -1, 3. The point A is at 6, 8. Let's put it over there. And this is, or it is, I should say, the equation of the tangent to the circle at that point that we're trying to find. This, guys, might help you think about this question. You might be thinking, come on, man, I'm lying in my bed, I'm sitting at my desk. I just want you to go through it. Guys, be patient with me. I am just going to give people 30 more seconds to have a look at this one. Then I'm going to set up a quick poll. Some people saying, I thought it was only circles centered at the origin that could come up in GCSE maths. That's true when it comes to the equations of circles, but it's not true when it comes to a question like this. So if the equation was involved, you could only have it centered at the origin. Somebody's saying, all right, I'm off the live. Guys, this is a difficult question. Difficult question. Give it your best shot. See if you can get any of the marks. And if you can, stick with me for the explanation, because there's a lot to learn from this one. There's a lot to learn from this one. And questions like this, which involve tangents to circles and perpendicular lines, are very common. Very, very common. Guys, I'm going to set up a really quick poll. Put a happy face for me if you're ready for me to go through this one, and a sad face if you want a little bit more time. Let's have a look. That was quick. People were quick on the happy face over there. People were quick on the happy face. Guys, let's have a look. You really want me to go through this one. Okay, question 20. What are we going to do? And promise me, even if you looked at this and you thought, whoa, this is way too hard, listen carefully to the explanation, because I think a lot of people who don't understand this at the moment will understand this after the explanation, okay? So let's have a look. Question 20. It says the center of a circle is the point with the coordinates -1, 3. The point A with coordinates 6, 8, I've just drawn that on approximately, lies on the circle. Find an equation of the tangent to the circle at A. Give your answer in the form ax plus by plus c equals 0, where a, b, and c are integers. Guys, when it comes to working with the equation of a circle, we know that the general form of the equation of a circle is y equals mx plus c, where m is the gradient and c is the y-intercept. So those are the two things we need to find for this line here. First off, we're going to find the gradient. Now, how do we find the gradient? We're going to use the fact that the radius meets this line, the tangent, I should say, at a right angle. We're going to draw a line from our center to the point A, and we're going to find the gradient of this line here. Because this is perpendicular to the radius, the gradient of this is going to be the negative reciprocal of the gradient of this. But how do we find the gradient of this? To find the gradient of a line, guys, we can use the fact that the gradient is equal to the change in y between 2 points divided by the change in x between those 2 points. When we go from 3 up to 8 up, our change in y is plus 5. And when we go from -1 across to 7 across, our change in x is positive 7. So the gradient of our radius here is 5/7. To find the gradient of the tangent, then, we can use the fact that it's a negative reciprocal. So the gradient of the tangent is going to be equal to our negative reciprocal. So we're going to find the negative reciprocal of 5 over 7. We're going to make it negative, so we have negative, and then the reciprocal, we flip that fraction, we get 7 over 5. Now, guys, we have part of our equation. We know that it's going to be y equals negative 7 over 5x plus c because our gradient is negative 7 over 5. So we have y equals minus 7 over 5x plus c. Where do we go from there to find our y-intercept? What we can do, guys, to find the equation of a line when we have the gradient and one point on our line is we can substitute those coordinates into our line. That's going to get rid of the y and the x and tell us c. Substituting in y equals 8 and x equals 6, we're going to get 8 equals minus 7 over 5 times by 6 plus c. That bracket should not be there. That bracket should be there. Beautiful. So minus 7 over 5 times by 6 plus our c. We're going to have 8 equals minus 7 over 5 times by 6. What's it going to be? 6 is essentially 6 over 1. So we have 7 times 6 on the top. We have minus 42 over 5 plus c. Now, guys, where do we go from here to find the value of c? We're going to move this over to the other side. And in the same line of working out, I'm spotting that I'm going to have to combine these together, write this as a fraction over 5. 8 as a fraction of 5 is going to be 40 over 5. So we have 40 over 5 plus 42 over 5. That's equal to c. I'm going to move this down a little bit more. We're going to get that 82 over 5 equals c. Now, guys, we have the equation of our line. What's the equation of our line? The equation of our line is y equals negative 7 over 5x plus 82 over 5. However, the question wanted us to give the equation of our line in the form ax plus by plus c equals 0. So what we're going to do is firstly multiply all of our terms by 5 to get rid of these 5s on the bottoms of our fractions. We're going to get 5y equals minus 7x plus 82. Final step, guys. What's it going to be? We need to move everything over to one side of our equation with 0 on the other. We're going to move this minus 7x over and this 82 over. So we're going to add 7x to both sides. We're going to get 7x plus 5y equals minus 82 equals 0. Guys, this is our answer to question number 20. Talk to me in the chat. Famlam said you lost some people when you brought 40 in. Yeah, I thought I may have done. That was a trick. Oh, you mean understanding-wise? Okay, so the reason we brought 40 in was because we wanted this and this to have a common denominator so we could add together the numerators. 8 is equivalent to 8 over 1, so if we wanted to write it as a fraction over 5, we can times top and bottom both by 5. We get 40 over 5. Hopefully that clears things up. A different way you could have done it that would be the only way to do that, actually. That would be the only way. Somebody says, you still haven't completed the question because you haven't given it in this form. It is in this form. We have ax, so a is 7, plus by, b is 5, plus c is minus 82. Guys, this topic here is the equations of tangents to circles. I actually posted a video on this pretty recently, so I will refer you to that one. Guys, 5 seconds to screenshot. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And we're going to move on to our last question, question number 21. Now, I don't have long at all. I only have a couple of minutes. I'm going to be going latest at 5 past. So I'm going to give you guys a couple of moments to understand this question, try and get your head around it. Then I'm going to talk through the solution. This, guys, is the second most difficult GCSE maths question I have ever seen. The second most difficult GCSE maths question I have ever seen. So I'm going to give you a couple of minutes for it. and then we're going to talk about it. Somebody says, what's the hardest? I'm not sure off the top of my head what paper it's in. We actually did it about a week ago. It's that vectors one where you have to find what ratio one of the vectors is to the other. Janyo is asking what the hardest paper is. I'm not actually sure off the top of my head. I know this is the second hardest one. There's one I can kind of picture, but I'm not sure what year it is, what paper it is. Famlam says the famous question. Guys, a super difficult question here. Final question of the day. And then we're going to have our party. You guys have done a superb job today, sticking with me through what has been a very, very difficult paper. Very, very difficult paper. Let's have a look. Kian says that was on my GCSE paper. Yep. Somebody's saying something to do with triangles. Yep. The first thing to do, guys, is going to be to draw some triangles here. 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 Draw some lines here. 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 And here. And here. And here. Guys, I'm going to now put a quick poll on the screen. Vote with a happy face for me if you are ready, and with a sad face if you want a little bit more time. Guys, our final question of the day. It has been a tough one tonight. This is our last question. Let's see what we can do. We have by far the majority going for the happy face. If you really want a bit more time for this, feel free to turn the volume down. Thank you, Ross Mack, for voting on the YouTube, and also Emma Kelly. Guys, let's have a look at the answer. I have already written this one out because I know a lot of people are going to want to screenshot it. Let me just move this up a little bit. I'm going to talk you through it. Our last question of the day before our party. What are we going to have? The question says, the diagram shows 3 circles and each of them has a radius of 4. So the first step is we can draw on those radiuses, knowing that they are 4. We can draw a radius here, knowing that it's 4. Also these radiuses here. Okay, so that's the first step. I kind of put that one on the previous page, so I didn't go through it in too much detail. It says the centers of circles A, B, and C are such that ABC is a straight line and AB equals BC equals 4, so these are 4. In other words, the radius is 4. Okay, where do we go from there, guys? We know that this is 4 and this is 4. We know that this is 4 because the radius is 4, and we know that this is 4 because we're told that AB is 4. That means that this is an isosceles triangle. Okay, it means it's an isosceles triangle. What else do we know? We also know that we have 6 angles here which are all the same and they are around a point. So to find that this angle is 60 degrees, we can do 360 divided by 6, which gives us 60. So now we know 2 things. We know that this is an isosceles triangle with side length 4 and 4, and we know that this angle is 60 degrees. If this is an isosceles triangle, and this is 60 degrees, it means that it also has to be an equilateral triangle. Why? Because these 2 side lengths are these 2 angles are gonna add to 120. They're split between 2, so 120 divided by 2 is 60. If all 3 of our angles are 60, we have an equilateral triangle. That allows us to also say that this side length here is 4. That's enough explaining this labeling. What about the question? It says, work out the total area of the 2 shaded regions. We have one down here and one down here. The first thing we're going to do, guys, is we're going to take a step back and we're going to say, okay, how can we describe one of these shaded areas? What we can do is we can describe it as one sector of this circle, so this here, minus 2 segments, where this is a segment and this is a segment. So we can describe one shaded area as one sector minus 2 segments. Where do we go from there? Well, we're going to work out the area of a sector, and we're going to work out the area of our segments. So first of all, working out the area of a sector. How do we work out the area of a sector? We do the angle that we have out of 360 times by pi r squared. So here we have 60 over 360 times pi r squared. Our radius is 4. 60 over 360, divide top and bottom by 60, we get 1 over 6. 4 squared pi is 16 pi. We combine 1 over 6 times 16 pi. We get 16 over 6 pi. Divide top and bottom both by 2. We get 8 over 3 pi. So we've got the area of a sector. Now what about the area of a segment? Our segment is here, or here for that matter. What we're going to recognize is that the area of a, let me just reposition this for a second, guys, actually. There we go. That's looking better, isn't it? Yeah, that's looking better. What we know is that the area of a segment is the area of the sector minus the area of a triangle. So, for example, this sector here, this segment here is this sector here minus this triangle here. We know that we can work out the area of a triangle using a half AB sine C, where A and B are two side lengths and C is the angle in between them. Using this as an example, working out the area of the triangle, we have a half times 4, which are our side lengths, times by sine 60, because our angle is 60. Where do we go from there? 4 times 4 is 16, 16 times a half is 8, sine 60 is equal to the square root of 3 over 2, then we do 8 times root 3 over 2, the 8 divided by 2 gives us 4, so we have the area of a triangle, it's 4 root 3. Now, working out the area of a segment, we said it's the area of the sector, which was 8 over 3 pi, subtract the area of the triangle, which was 4 root 3. So we can write the area of a segment as 8 over 3 pi minus 4 root 3, the area of the sector, minus the area of the triangle. Now, pinning down our shaded areas, what are we going to have? Well, we know that we have two shaded areas, that's why I've done 2 times by, and then we're going to work out the area of one shaded area. We know that to work out one shaded area, we do one sector minus 2 segments. We worked out that one sector is 8 by 3 pi, so we have 8 by 3 pi here. Then we subtract 2 segments. We know that one segment is 8 over 3 pi minus 4 root 3, so we have minus 2 lots of 8 over 3 pi minus 4 root 3. We can simplify this. What are we going to have? We have 8 over 3 pi minus 2 lots of 8 over 3 pi. That's going to give us minus 1 lot of 8 over 3 pi. Where do we go from there? Well, we have to do our minus 2 times by our minus 4 root 3. Minus times a minus is a positive. 2 times by 4 is 8, so we have 8 root 3. This gives us one of our shaded areas, guys. We have to times it by 2 because we have 2 of them, and we get our answer. 2 times 8 root 3 gives us 16 root 3, and 2 lots of minus 8 over 3 pi gives us minus 16 over 3 pi. Guys, if that one made any sense whatsoever, congratulations, because that is an extremely difficult question. Extremely difficult question, and very, very few people got it right. Ross Mack said, my head just exploded. Yep, guys, it was a difficult question. Even if you're going for a grade 9 and you look at that question and you say, I've got no idea what you did, do not let that stress you out. Stay happy. Pretty much every single grade 9 student would not get this question right. So guys, do not let it worry you if that one didn't make sense. Finally, guys, after what has been a difficult session, we are finished. Another day has passed and another past paper is complete. Guys, I want to say congratulations. If you're a regular here, you know what it is. It is time for our party. This is going to be the worst ever congrats, but here we go. Congrats. Guys, another day complete, another past paper complete, another step in the direction of progress. Guys, absolutely spam the chat full of emojis for me. I want party emojis, I want disco emojis, I want dancing emojis. Charlie says, come on, A is dancing. EDUSEHIS is partying. Louis partying. Guys, let's keep this party going. Lizzie's got that Latino dancing going. Patricia's dancing. Beth is dancing. Somebody's got the disco ball out. Come on, guys, superb session. I want to say congratulations. Please take a moment, take a sit back in your chair, close your eyes. I'm literally doing it now as I'm saying this, so don't make me feel silly. Actually do this for me. Take a sit back in your chair, close your eyes, take a deep breath, and give yourself a pat on the back, because that has not been an easy session at all. It's not been an easy session at all. It is Monday evening. It is now 7:10, and we have made Oh, yeah. Yeah, good shout, Famlam. That doesn't look so good, does it? Yeah, it says, yeah, it says congrats. Not so good. It's meant to say congrats for congratulations. But what I meant was take a sip, take a lean back. Monday evening, 10 past 7. Guys, another day, another past paper. If that's your revision for this evening, especially if you've done this paper properly, I would recommend chilling out the rest of the night. It's been a difficult shift. Now, just before I want to go, guys, I want to remind you of the recent stream partner. Where can I find this and make it a little bit bigger? There we go. I want to remind you of the deal that we've that we've got for you. So, a lot of people have been DMing me after the past papers saying, oh, you know, the past papers are really, really helping, but you know what? There are some specific topics, such as SERDs, that I'm still really struggling with. And what I've done based on that is I've actually gone and got a little partnership with a company called Maths Made Easy. And basically, I've got this discount code for you so that if you use the code MGM50, you get 50% off your first month. And what that basically means is that it only costs £10 to get the first month for this platform. And it is the best place for topic-specific revision. So I've said this a bunch of times already. I just wanted to remind you, if you are interested in that, use code MGM50. Also, as part of this partnership, which is super exciting, I'm giving away 10 sets of practice papers. If you want to be in with a chance of winning, including the grade 9 ones, all you have to do is tag my GCSE Maths in the comments of one of their TikTok posts. I'm going to go right after this stream and choose 10 people who do that to win the prizes. I don't think, to be honest, many people are going to tag me. So if you do tag me, it's pretty likely that that you get chosen. So yeah, go and tag my GCSE Maths if you want a chance of winning. Charlie says, just did an MME past paper, top stuff. Yeah, they have some really good past papers on there too. Guys, I don't want to take away from the moment though. The main thing about this evening is that you've done another past paper, another day moving in the right direction. Guys, I'm going to say, hasta luego. A lot of people are saying tag you where. Tag me in the comments of any of their posts. So MME Revise is the name of the TikTok account. Sorry, I should have been a lot clearer there. So the TikTok account is called @MME Revise. And you just tag me in any of their posts. You just tag me in any of their posts. They have some superb grade 9 past papers or practice papers, which you can also win. You just have to kind of let me know or let them know which ones you want, and then give you those ones. So follow the account, follow the MME Revise TikTok account, and tag me in the comments for a chance of winning one of those past papers. Guys, I'm going to say hasta la vista, hasta luego. Superb job this evening. Nice to see that the YouTube party was also good. I'm just seeing that now. Emma Kelly, you're very welcome. Guys, goodbye. Have a good evening, and I will catch you in the next live.